a VSE, a very special episode of Craft and Chaos. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Pete. There will be no lessons learned, no heavy montages, no deep dramatic music for this very special episode.
Except for right now. Okay, now we're done.
Okay.
Now, we are here to talk about the Craft and Chaos behind-the-scenes architecture that you really, I giving it to you. You constructed the scaffolding of our ads. You are our ads manager.
Yes. So obviously, if this is your first episode of Craft and Chaos, this is not what it's like. But
this is the wrong one.
There's just two of us. So this game, we're in our season break. So like this, we're in our hiatus before we start our next season. But we had a listener question come in that said, like, oh, I really like the Other Orange ads. Like, do you all make that? Do you all work together on that to put it out? And I was like, ooh, that's an interesting question. And also, it could lead into a larger discussion of craft. So we can actually sort of break down and then we can talk about those and where it is. So like with the short answer to that is no, it's me. Like it's like I'm the architect behind all the ads. The other three hosts
and inspiration.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I mean, it was my idea. Yeah. So
it was your idea, and you have inspired greatness in others, as you often do.
I do my best.
I'm
trying. It originally came from the idea that when the ads roll on the episodes, no one else but me has seen them. So they are brand new. So that when you hear the moments after everyone laughing stuff too, that's not fake. They have never seen them until that moment.
Right.
The inspiration came actually from a conversation that you and I had, and you don't even know this. So we were talking about another show, and you were talking to me about the business of podcasting and how these things sort of and you told me the best sort of structure for a modern podcast, a business type, a professional podcast is essentially like the opening icebreaker, then an ad break, then your main segment, then an ad break, and then a second segment or your sort of fun closing thing. And so I'd always kept that, and I've tried to structure my stuff in that way so that in the future, should there be any ads, it's easy to cut in to put an ad thing there. But then when we were putting this show together, I was like, ooh, he'll want to do that. And
at some point.
So if I make fake ads and put them in those places, it'll be much harder for Pete to cut in and put the ads in. And therefore I can control what goes in those. So it's a little bit of mischief on my part.
Diabolical. That is diabolical.
Because we set up the ads so they play, and then we react to them right afterwards. So there's no way you can dynamically insert an ad into there. So as a businessman, I have absolutely cut you off at the knees.
Yeah, you've done that. I did not know that was your intention. And I have low-key been thinking, I wonder what Kyle will say when I approach him eventually about this inventory of ads that I would like to start dropping into the show. And what Kyle is saying is, screw you. As he runs off into the sunset.
It was a little bit of deviosity on my part. Yes, I definitely want to do it. It's a little bit of creative chaos in the mix. But having done that, I also wanted to then challenge myself that every episode I would have something new that I would create and then I would be showing off. So even though I never really took credit for it essentially along the way until sort of here we are, pulling back the curtain, I wanted to have that as a thing that I was making. So I always had a sort of a deadline and an approximate space, something that I was making for that episode. So to keep myself creatively inspired and to keep my editing skills, both audio and video, which we'll talk about, fresh and moving along.
Right.
So I wanted to have that sort of something, and also something to just absolutely drop something in the middle of an episode that had no connection to what else was going on. Something that was not thematically linked to what we were talking to or anything, just an absolute swerve. Because I wanted to sort of keep people on their toes as well, because you never really knew what was coming.
Well, and I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to watch these things cold. But first, What is it that?
before we get started, I should say Ryan Dalton has created 3 of these ads, so we would not be talking about that because he's not here. But those would be pancakes, Gandalf's used autos. All right, he has a longer title now, and then your favorite song. So those are the 3 that came from all 100% from him. I had not even seen them. Like he just sent them to me. I sent them in to be added to the roster, and that was it. So credit where it's due. So.
What made you decide that these ads should lean so hard to strange rather than parody, right? Or like inside jokes, right? This is theater of the absurd.
Yes, that was definitely a choice, because parody in the year of 2025 is extremely difficult to pay off, because most people just don't have the time to figure out what it is you're doing. Honestly, that's it's really hard for people not to know that it's serious, because most advertising is so terrible that it's hard to make an ad intentionally bad without people thinking, oh, that was just a bad ad, because there's so much of it. We're so besieged by it. I mean, even just now today, I was reading about how it's McDonald's did an AI ad that was so bad that it forced the corporation to take it down. Wow. Like, it was on a company that people hated it so much that they literally had to make it private and take it down off of their site, because they were being bombarded by people how terrible it was. Yeah. So it's like nothing funny I could ever do could be as bad as the AI slop that like Coca-Cola is rolling out with trucks with wheels that don't roll, change sizes. It's awful.
There's only one way to watch AI video, and that is on YouTube, searching for the guys like the parkour athletes. There's one going around right now that I watch 100 times a day because it's so fantastic, and I'll link it in the show notes. It's a guy whose quote, his opening thesis is, AI videos are getting so good. And then he just cuts shots of him doing real parkour next to him recreating the same thing with an AI human. And talk about theater of the absurd. It is the best thing that I could ever see, because it demonstrates the value of humanity and the fact that computers don't get it yet, sure, but they don't get it, and we can laugh and point at them. And that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
So
I saw a TikTok video of 2 guys recreating an AI ad, like as if it was AI, and like the way that they would physically sort of move themselves into new positions in that awkward way that AI does. And it was really funny, but also like how fast humanity adapt. Like these guys watched a bunch of them and went, oh, we could do that. And it's almost like performance art, where they're just like in one shot, just moving themselves into these awkward positions.
It's terrifying and beautiful. Yeah. And that I think, the aesthetic, we're not going for AI, we're going for absurd.
Yeah.
And that leads us to, I think, well, no, before that, that leads us to the experience of watching them cold. It was very jarring to watch the first ads of the first episode. Right.
So, let me check a little bit about a process and like how I thought of it originally, and now how I think of it now, which is this is an audio. We are seeing each other as we record this, but we don't put video out. We are not a video podcast. We are an audio podcast. So for me, when I did it, it's always audio first. So it's always like, I always write the thing and produce it like as a sound file, as a 30-second or a minute or whatever long clip, audio wise. And then I go in afterwards and add video. And that started out as a gag, because we use StreamYard to do this, which we're on right now. And StreamYard is a little iffy when you just give it a pure audio file. It doesn't always know what to do with it, but it's really good at doing a video file. So
you're talking about the interstitial kind of inserts. We're playing something live.
So we can play it live. Yeah, exactly. Like afterwards, you can drop in, you can cut in, and then I know that you go through and you add in a bunch of sort of adding the sweetening and adding in extra sound effects and gags, whatever, which is also a fun part of the experience of being an audio editor, is like adding in random stuff in the background. We remember in the days of Saturday Matinee when we would do an aside and we would really have footsteps walking away,
and doors
closing. Yeah, that kind of fun radio stuff. So then I realized that, okay, so that's going to be on people will be just listening to it and then do it. I wanted to have something just for the hosts for them to see. And so for that first ad, I just collected almost like a random group of images and then cut them together along the beats of the ad. But they really had nothing to do thematically with it. I just did it to be funny, and it worked, because we came out of that break and everybody was laughing because it was just a lot of horses.
It's a lot of horses. That is the equestrian undertones of this show are not to be underestimated. They're everywhere and often.
Yes, and it started before we recorded that first episode. So I put those in as a gag, because I knew that if the ad didn't work, then I know that you all would come back laughing at the ridiculous amount of horse footage that I had found. All
so
publicly available, public domain, not copyrighted. I made sure everything that I put on there is absolutely cleared.
Nothing from the Electric Horseman.
Nope. There's nothing from from any of the many movies that have featured our equestrian friends. Nope.
Right.
All real horses.
I think it's interesting, the act of this is sort of my main thesis about the ads, as somebody who just watches them and is a recipient of them, is that from that first episode, as truly ridiculous as they are, it really sets the tone for what I think I and Ryan and Misty began to accept as the fabric of the show. Right, of the culture of the show. When we were at a loss for how to approach these conversations, which take practice. Like, I don't know that any of us are really, we might not be very good at it yet, even. But so much of the reminder in the thread of the conversation when we're getting too serious or too off subject, we drop a commercial in there, and it's like it's like a flush, like an intellectual flush. And we get to remind ourselves that this is the chaos part, and let's remember to have fun.
Yeah, it's a little energy boost. It's sort of just like a little bit of strangeness or absurdity, or sometimes I got in as it went on into maybe something heartfelt, like actually to find a way to sneak in some positive messages.
You hang on there a minute. We'll get there. I want to talk about the taxonomy of the fake sponsors, and I'd like to start with a repeat advertiser, one that actually gives us the opportunity, even in season 1, to have a callback, and that is The Other Orange.
The only thing we can agree on. Humans need both goods and services. The other thing that we can agree on is that being a human is very difficult. That's where we come in. Our company is called The Other Orange. A place for human beings, being human. Don't look for us. We're already looking for you.
The Other Orange is not a riff on AI. That is not what I am doing. It sounds like that, but I'm doing something different. And I have sort of a mythology in my mind, so I'm not going to reveal all of that sort of backstory that I have.
Well, that has to come out in future ads, I would imagine.
Yes, I would hope so. I mean, like as they continue to advertise with us, in this weird liminal fake universe that we've created, that they somehow are continuing to support the show, and I wanted to do it, but I knew that I would not be as good at them at the start. I was in advertising for a very short period of time. It did not suit me, but I sort of picked up a couple skills that I enjoyed.
I only laugh because I got to witness you being in advertising for a short while, and there is a lot of humor that comes out of that experience.
Yeah. So sort of like now I laugh, then I was crying.
Humor and sadness. I mean, don't get me wrong, humor and great sorrow, but also humor.
I appreciate the marketing people on a different level now, and I also I sort of look at them with pity, like, oh, I'm so sorry for what you have to do and what you have to, and what you're judged by, and everything too. But I picked up a bunch of stuff, and I really found I really enjoyed doing short form stuff. I really enjoyed doing like little things where you could just get in, do a thing, and get out. I sort of have found that I either work well in 30 seconds or 2 hours, and I can't find anything in the middle.
There's nothing between. Okay.
There's nothing between. Those are my two speeds.
Were you
first
ever
gear and
a
sixth
real
gear, and that's it.
Were you ever a real Vine guy though? Could you do something in 6 seconds?
That was where it got me, because I it turns out my limit is 30. I can't go less than 30. Like
Okay.
I was told during the TikTok days when I was working in TikTok that I had to have everything in 14 seconds. That was the maximum amount of time. And the idea that you could get any useful information, especially even like, here's a cool product and here's why you like it, in 14 seconds, I was like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad enough the attention spans have gotten so low. I don't want to be. And also, what could you, I give it to the people like from the Vine days stuff too, but who can get in and do a thing and get out. My brain doesn't work that way. So like 30 seconds is about as short as I can get, which is why you'll see most of the ads are 30 seconds or a minute.
30 or 60. Yeah, for sure. And so with the other orange, you have a mythology, but one of the things that I think is really, that I'm looking forward to is watching that mythology unravel, because I think over the course of the season, you get to know the ideology of this ridiculous company.
Yes.
Ad over ad over ad. And I think watching the ads back to back is deeply unsettling and funny, because they seem like they're maybe
trying.
on.
They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. They're really trying, but it turns out they're trying for not the thing that you want them to try for.
Yes. So I also knew that I would get better. So I decided like, I would also have it be that this is the first time they've done advertising. And so when it came in, it would also be a little rough. And then as it went along, it would get a little better as I got better at doing it. So I sort of built it into the machine that it would be a little bit weird and off-putting, because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Like, this is what, even back to the days of Ryan Fitzpatrick and I putting stuff together, we learned by doing. Like, we wanted to make a podcast, so we made one. Like, we had no idea what we were doing, but it's that same process of like, you throw yourself into it and you figure it out as you go.
Do you have a consistent character voice when you're writing the other orange ads? Is it the same sort of person every time?
Yes. So I have the person and what they're trying to do. And so that starts with a script. So I have like a whole script out that I write, and then I use a particular. This is where it's like, I want to get I don't know if I want to give away all my stuff, and yet I also want to be open with everybody. So there is a free tool.
One of these.
Yes, but I say there is a free tool out there called Crick, CRIKK. It is not, like I said, it's not AI based. It is, what I wanted was if for those of Gen X, right, the Dr. Sabetso voice. Like, I wanted the real, like, awkward, like, this isn't a human voice. And so many of them now are really nice and really smooth, and I did not want that. So I found this website that they do this professionally. They have professional voices that sound great, and I did not want those. So I went down to the bottom of their thing, to the free tier, and then dug through those voices until I found one that I thought would be appropriate for it. It had the right sort of just generic business guy tone. And then I could do it. And even when I wrote it the first time and put it out, it was still too good. So what I had to do is I had to then go in and change my punctuation to make it worse. So I had to go in and I had to go. So like, if you listen, the first couple ones, it says we're, and I have dot, we're period, the other period orange. Because if I didn't, he'd go, we're the other orange. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. And so then I would move the punctuation around. So it would go, we're the other orange, because then each one, it treats each one as a different sentence. And so then they put it out as you put it in the paragraph, it exports as one big continuous MP3, and then I take it into Reaper and I chop it, and so then I can set the timing of it. So I can have them pause, or I can wait for a musical beat.
But at least it has created the appropriate intonation.
Yes. And then I can move it together or slide it apart. I can, sort of take individual pieces of it and make it so, like, if I know there's a visual here that's good, or I know that there's an audio gag or whatever, I can have it paste out onto it. And then I can see the 30 seconds and like how long it is, and I can move things around to make it smaller or wider. I took a piece of music. I didn't write down what the name of it was, but it was from one of the public domain, like, we're authorized to use. And I ran it backwards. And that it still wasn't enough, because it turns out it was like it's like the very thing, but it's very rhythmic. And if you flip it backwards, it goes from da
It's
da da
just
da
rhythmic.
da 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 da, which is pretty much the same. So I was like, oh, it's a little off. But so what I then found a particular audio filter in Reaper called vinyl that you can make it sound like it's coming out of a record player. So you
Okay.
can choose to be 78 or 45. You can choose what era from like the 1930s or the 50s or the 70s. You can choose how much grain is on there, how much thing. And then you also have a setting, which I use on this, which is the platter speed is variable. So basically, as you're listening to it, if you listen to the music, you'll hear it like slow down and speed up. Da, 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 da,
It's
and it
almost
does
like
it random.
somebody is like cranking it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
the motor is out of sync, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
It speeds up and then slows down, and it doesn't do it on a regular basis. It randomizes it, so it's
that's
not
horrible.
like it's
Yeah.
sort of like fast and then slow down. So if you listen to just the music of it, it sounds just a little off, which is what I wanted
Mhm.
to be, the whole thing to be just a little bit unsettling, but not creepy, because creepy
Yeah.
would come later. So that's what's playing underneath on all of the audio that they do. So then it's constructing that of like setting up the whatever the problem is, like the internet search one or whatever, and then introducing themselves, and then at the other end having like the worst sign-offs of like, like, don't follow us, we're already following you, or
Following you, yeah. Some real
And so-
we're already looking at you energy.
yeah, exactly, but not in a. I started thinking about from Night Vale and their stuff where they use actual products. They'll say like, Wendy's, like, we're coming for you and that kind of stuff. But I was like,
Yeah.
no, I want to have something that's uniquely mine or ours, or if anybody else
Mhm.
wants to play in the space of our, the rest of of our. I know we haven't done a title of us, but they are crafty chaoticians, whatever the other
Yeah,
hosts. We have
we
that, like,
definitely need.
the orange is available essentially. So if anybody wants
Yeah.
to write one we can absolutely do it. I don't consider them to be mine, but I wanted it to be something that was like our own, as opposed to trying to take an existing thing and play with it, to be like
Well,
the
there
dark side
is-
of Arby's.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, there is a certain sort of sociopathy that grows with the character,
Yes.
and you almost you get the feeling that as as the ads are getting better, as
Mhm.
the mythic creator is getting better at making these ads, that the company itself is getting more refined in how it sees its own mission, and that mission is terrible, and I love it.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted to hold off on an earlier point you tried to make,
Yes.
which is later you get sincere and
Yes.
start advertising some, good feelings and real things. And I would first like to know how you figure that's how did you sit down and think, what would really fit with the other orange? Something really authentic and nice.
Yeah, that was it. Came down to, even Zoe was sort of like, I was play them for her a lot of times, my teenage daughter, and she's like, I don't know how much farther you can go with this, and I was like, really? She's like, they're like an evil corporation, so and
You
I was
could
like,
go for a long way.
yeah, I know. I'm like, that's not. I wasn't really going for like we're an evil corporation who wants to destroy you. Like, I after we talked about it on the show, actually, I started watching Better Off Ted, and like to see the company they work for, I was like, oh, okay, I see where he draw the comparison. I'm like, that's not what I was doing. So I was intentionally trying to like, okay, I also don't want to overuse it, because it feels like if everyone expects one every single episode, it will diminish, because then I'm sitting there going like, all right, what thing am I annoyed about on the internet today? And then it just becomes like content. It just becomes cranking out the thing. So I wanted to shake
That's
things up a
actually
little
not
bit.
what I'm curious about, though, Kyle. What I'm curious about is actually using the format to tell a story of a character.
Yeah.
Right? That is ongoing.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be a riff on evil corporations. I like the idea of the company having an emotional arc and really struggling with their own stuff. Like, I think that's amazing.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. That's, I mean, I think of the I don't have a name for him, but like I sent the newsreader for, I don't think of him as the other orange. Like I think of him as the person who is their spokesperson.
Yes.
And then he's
the guy.
He's just trying his best. He's just trying to do this, and he doesn't understand why his stuff doesn't work. Like he doesn't understand why people are off put by it. Like he looks at other ads and goes, "Oh, I can do that," and then puts it out there and goes, "Why? What was the problem with that? Like I did what that guy did. I did what that lady did. I don't know."
Really, I mean, in all seriousness, I want to do a supercut of other orange ads, and I want to have. I want to have a 2-hour experience in some number of years where it's like listening to an audiobook where I just listen to ads and watch this person evolve and like have to face his own marketing trolley problem. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think I see him as a real person who's changing and learning and evolving and stuff too. So yeah, it would be interesting to see sort of how it plays out over the course of time. And of course, Other Orange was the idea was, of course, they looked at like, oh, well, everyone likes this apple. We can't what else is like apples? Oranges. Well, we can't call ourselves orange. So what if we're the other orange?
I love it. And I can't remember. Did you do, cause I had this idea for an Other Orange branded shirt, but did you do a logo?
I did. I have actually a couple different. I mean, there is a standard logo, but I use Adobe Express because I'm not good enough to do all the other Adobe stuff, and this one is just like the Canva of Adobe for me. And I created it, and it allows you to animate it. So I learned that after I did it. So if you ever watch them online on YouTube, you'll see there is now an animated logo. But yes, there is an official.
I just don't. I didn't watch.
There is an official Other Orange logo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to do a logo shirt for the Other Orange. I'd wear that.
I would wear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just have it be just slightly off, slightly off centered.
Well, it's just the whole idea that there's an orange. The logo is an orange, but we're talking about the orange right behind it that's smaller and a little sad.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's good. I might add that into there. But then they might refine their logo then too. Put that in. So then the other nice thing about the Other Orange specifically is that I wanted something that I could turn around really fast on my time, because I tend to do them a day or two before we record, not just because of life. Like it's like always running, the train's always behind me, so it's like I'm always trying to do the thing. And I love actors, but involving an actor adds a lot of time to the process, because then it's finding their schedule, and you're also asking for a favor, which is like, the older I get, the more I hate asking people for favors. So then it's their performance, and then having to direct them and do stuff. I was like, I built Other Orange that started out just as that, because I wanted something I could control when I got it and what I got. And also the flaws are baked into the mix. Like, it was never supposed to sound like a human being. I never wanted you to think this was an actual person. Like, I wanted it to be unnatural. And so therefore I chose not to use an actor for that. So it's just, I can change and refine as much, because sometimes it mispronounces words, and I had to go, okay, I can't use that word. I have to go in and change it, because whatever it's using to pull that stuff, the joke didn't land because of it.
Yeah. Okay, but this all of this started with a question about, when did you decide you needed to be sincere?
Well, part of it was, I guess for me, what I did when I had the idea for problematic, I want like an actual, just full on dystopian like commercial, and luckily Mandy Kaplan was able to, she's someone I'd reached out to, and she's always really good because she loves doing fun, silly stuff like this. And I would say, like, hey, if I gave you like 48 hours of notice, would you be able to do this thing? And before this season had even started, and she was like, "Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. That'd be, if I can do it in 24." And I was like, "Okay, great," because I know she's also a fellow podcaster. Make Me a Nerd, check it out on the True Story Network. And so I knew I would have that a real person to do a thing, and so I made that ad, and I like it. And I had to be the voiceover because I couldn't find an actor in time. So it's me. And I was like, this is really dark. I was like, this is real. And like that with another orange ad next to it, I was like, ooh. And so I'm like, oh, I definitely need to, as the show was evolving and we were trying to be talking about the hard stuff, but also talking about the good stuff and the mutual support society and like trying to keep the light in the darkness and stuff too. I'm like, I need to do something that's not like and like having like, oh yeah, this is why you need to get down and have your story out there, and then a dystopian nightmare comes in. I was like, oh yeah, I think I need to have the differences in tones. So it's not always just hitting the same thing every time. So that's why Other Orange is not in every episode. I wanted to sort of like start sprinkling it on there so it's special when it shows up and not just, what are they doing this week?
Oh man, not again.
What's wrong, Steve?
I just found out my favorite author got arrested. He's been running a secret monkey fight club.
That's terrible. Those poor monkeys.
Sure, but what about me?
What about you?
I still want to enjoy his books, but now all I'll be thinking about are those monkeys. Guess I'll go roast him on social media.
You could do that, but what if there's another option? Have you considered Problematic?
Did you say problematic?
No, Problem-Attic. It's a smart app for your dumb brain. It's very simple. We go into your mind and create a space above your thoughts.
Like an attic?
Exactly. That's where we'll stuff in all your guilt and shame about being a fan, plus your memories of his crimes.
But will it all fit?
We found the human capacity for denying the truth is nearly infinite.
Are there any long-term effects?
It's so new we have no idea, but why not be a leader instead of a follower?
Sounds neat, but my guy's been convicted. What about all the people who got off scot-free? Can I forget their crimes too?
Of course. For that, you'll need Problematic Platinum.
Does it work?
It works so well, they sometimes get a whole musical made about them.
Cool. I can't wait to tell all my friends.
No, you must never tell. Okay, stuff them inside, lock the door, throw away the key, and never speak of it to anyone.
Okay.
Problematic. Why lie to your friends when you can lie to yourself? Another fine product from your friends at Psycho. Your brain is our domain.
Well, it's enormously thoughtful. I think I can't remember which one came first. If it was, you started doing these little ads for our other podcasts, right? For Misty's show, for Go Help Yourself. I think you did a Headstone and a Sitting in the Dark.
Yes. So I wanted to do that as sort of a way of like helping. I was like, oh yeah, we can use the ads actually in a positive way to actually spotlight stuff from us and our friends, like the things that we've actually done, but do it in a way that fits into the craft and chaos sort of mode. And so that's when, using that same site, I was looking through the voices and I found one that was about what sounded to me like a creepy little girl.
Creepy
and so
British girl.
I found the thing and I played around with it and I was like, this is really good. I mean, it's just a standard, like, we here at Liberty Mutual wish that you would, I mean, like, if it would be played out straight, but like the way I listened to it, that's the first thing I thought of is like Resident Evil, like, you're all going to die. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a new character then too. So then
100%.
I decided to take it as sort of like as a ghost, as a dead girl, a girl who had lived in the 1800s now doing ads. I thought was really fun. Just
So
like
good.
like why would she, what does she get out of this, like why is she doing this? But it worked so well, and just having her say these kind of, I could write this whatever strange dark things, and the way that comes out with that voice, it's just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit
It's just
off.
off.
And but it's also very sincere. Like if I was alive, I'd listen to that kind of stuff. So yeah, she definitely has a very distinct voice when I sit down and write her.
Yeah, well, and the fact that you end up writing her in support of these real things that we're all
she
trying
loves
to get
podcasts.
attention. She is a big podcast hipster.
She's
and
a
that
big
was
podcast
very
fan.
cool.
Yeah.
And
I also wanted to see how long will it go. All this game I'm playing is how long will it go till one of you figures out what it is that I'm doing.
Well, and now we're conditioned. Now we're on the lookout for your tricks and jibes, and
that's right.
And so it ends up being a game for us. I think the first one was such a shock of sincerity that it wasn't that there wasn't a turn at the end. The turn was I'm promoting you guys.
Surprise, Misty! Like we're talking about your podcast.
That was pretty special, and I know she was really moved by that. I think that was really cool. So it is just the part of what is jarring about it. And I think one of the first ones you did was about Ryan's book.
Yes,
right?
yeah, that was real. He we'll have to talk about it on the show sometime. He and I have a long history of failed projects on the internet, and so, and it's like I'd say I have plenty of them. So this is not me calling him out. But like he had made a trailer for that book when it was coming out, like himself. Like he had done all of the editing, video, audio, all that stuff, and put it up there, and it just had like 200 views. And like, and I have multiple videos out there that are still in like the teens. So like I'm no mastermind when it comes to this stuff. But I remembered it and I found it and then I cut it down. It was actually much longer than what it was, and so I wanted to he kind of thought I was making fun of him, which was not my intention. It was literally to say, this is a real thing that you made for a real book you can buy. Yeah. Hey everybody, like. This thing was out there. I wanted to sort of have him more the remembrance of like, oh yeah, I did do that, as opposed to like, haha, you tried to promote yourself and it failed, like that.
Oh,
so I hope that's the way we took
talk
it.
About that. Yeah, that's how I took it in sincerity. But of course, I already have Ryan's books. I didn't need to be sold.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have mine are signed.
This again is one of the great tragedies of the internet age, that I've never been in a space with Ryan physically ever. I do have you and Misty checked off my bucket list. So
I believe he signed one of his books to Kyle, the great inspiration for all my best work. Which I wrote for him, and then he wrote that.
You wrote it?
I wrote that on a Post-it, and then had him write that in the book. So that was
good. I was speaking of Ryan. I would like to turn the table, and because I got to watch all of them cold. You got to watch Ryan's cold, and I am curious your experience of being in our seat, watching Ryan's contributions to weirdness by ads.
I sort of did not know how good of a video editor he was, because that's as things evolved, then you were nice enough to allow us to put them on the True Story YouTube page. So you actually can go, and the link will be in the description of the thing. You can watch them all. And so watching it, I was like, oh, he's actually a really good video editor. So because for pancakes, he had gone out and found all this amazing video footage of pancakes, and it was like, and then same thing, like the other one, it's a little bit sinister. Like, why? Like, what happened before that this guy is so traumatized by breakfast foods, or with his other one about your favorite song? Like, it's just like that. That's like it's trapped. It's stuck inside your head. That kind of thing. Like it's, but seeing him, like, he always has had a great voice, and he's really good at delivering stuff. I've used him in multiple projects because he's a really good actor. So hearing him reading his own words and then putting stuff together, I was really impressed. I was like, I forgot you kind of had this as in your skill set too.
Well, it's very kind of you to approach Ryan to approach these contributions from all of the skill that he brings. But I would prefer that we talk about what you learned about his fundamental brokenness, because he's so dark.
Yes, it was very, very dark. I mean, the Gandalf thing was fun.
It was fun.
But the other ones are like, there's always something like, I think because he is a young adult, known as a young adult author, I think he felt kind of stuck in that. So it's like, he's like, oh wait, I have a dark side, and this is a way that I can show it off.
Yeah.
So like, I'm happy that we can provide the forum, allow him to like dip into the dark side before going back to like, and then they lived happily ever after.
Right.
Until
because it's this nice song that you really love, and yet it wants to consume your soul.
This episode is brought to you by this song, the one playing in the background right now. Listen to it. Isn't this song wonderful? Don't you just want to listen to it over and over on repeat until your ears melt and the world cracks in half? The song knows you do. It knows everything about you, and it can feel you resisting. Don't. That will only make it angry. You wouldn't want the song to get angry, would you? I didn't think so, because the song loves you. Of course it does, because music is good for the soul and certainly doesn't feed on your life essence or your will to live until one day you're a dried out husk scattered to the wind, tumbling across the withered remains of a once beautiful planet, now empty except for the song, just echoing endlessly across the wasteland in search of that very last soul to siphon. And then, only silence will reign. Because what is a song without someone to listen to it? What happens to a song when there is nothing left to consume? Available exclusively on Spotify.
I think they are just delightful. And really, I mean, what they lead to, I think as a reflection of both of your contributions, they allow us to see a side of you that we don't get to see right through just normal conversation. It's like coded speech or decoded speech, one or the other, that I think is really fun. It's really fun. They're a great addition.
And it was at the sort of when a dark time, it was just a lot of bad stuff going on and stress and everything too. That's when I was sort of like, what if there was an ad where it's just like a message came through just for you, that it wasn't me, but it basically like, and then we would and then I would not comment on it. Like it would just be like, as if it came through. That's the goddess, the Bridget, the goddess of mental health. Like I was like, this would be really cool. I'm like, but I have to have an actor. Like, I can't do this with one of the voice things. Like, it has to be somebody real. And so that's when I reached out to Mandy Fabian. So Mandy Fabian, I reached out to her and I said, hey, look, I'm doing this thing. And I had thought of the idea on Monday and we were recording on Wednesday. Like, it was for someone who like her, who's really busy. Like, it's way too short a time. But I just
in London.
Yeah, and also on the other side of the world. Like I was like, but it was just like I'm like, if it doesn't work, I just won't do the idea. I'll find something else to do. But I basically sent her the rough concept. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Would you be available to do this? She's like, well, I'm traveling to South America right now, but yes. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I land. I'll be landing in a couple hours. I'll record it in the hotel room tonight.
Oh my God.
Just because she's a mensch, just because she's just amazing. And she literally was on vacation with her family and then just had her stuff with her and just went into the bathroom and recorded what you hear, the Bridget, the goddess of mental health. Like, she did 2 takes and they're both phenomenal. And then sent in. And so then once again, I had to go in and I actually recorded that in a closet at work with my phone, with my earbuds, just because I want it to be as crappy of audio as I could without me having to go through and make it crappy. So I made the conditions were the worst. So when you hear, you're like, what you need to know about crypto, that's just me hunched over with my speaking into my AirPods.
A lot of people don't understand about cryptocurrency
And contact. Wow, finally got through. Hey, it's me, Bridget, goddess of mental health. Yeah, I've had many names throughout the millennia, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I only have a minute while this dude is blabbing about fake money, and I have been trying to reach you, but you got a lot of static in your attic, okay? Let me get to the point. That thing you did, the embarrassing moment, the one that pops into your head as soon as you lay your head on the pillow, yeah, you're off the hook for that. Totally absolved. Actually, looking at this list, my gosh, your next 10 items, all covered. Statutes of limitation are completed. Forgiven. I'm sorry you've been beating yourself up about this, but this is me, Bridget, an actual goddess, telling you it's all good. Record expunged. I'll be taking that guilt with me when I go. Okay, this guy's wrapping up. In the meanwhile, try and make yourself a little more open to the divine. Doodles.
.com. Why make smart money when you can make stupid money? Am I right? Later, hater.
Yeah, it feels very bro-y. And I, that was part of the question about that ad specifically, which was, did you at any point think about doing a complete crypto ad without being interrupted by the goddess?
No.
No.
Actually, it was more
No.
like I had the idea of like the goddess thing, and I was like, what's the worst thing I could be doing an ad for? And I was like, what's the thing that no one who wants to listen to is going to go, oh, you know what? That sounds great. Like there's a lot of really talented people and a lot of really memorable ads. I'm finding as I'm getting older, I've been watching like compilations of stuff from when I was a kid. Like advertising is powerful.
Yeah.
And there's some positive stuff, but like I was like, what's the thing that no one wants to hear and no one would ever buy by listening to an ad? And I was like,
Yeah.
Crypto.
Yeah.
That's something
no,
you
it
have
was
to be
just I was
talked
on the
into.
edge, but this
Yeah.
ad pushed me over. Yeah. This was the last thing I needed
Right.
to make
I was
me
like,
sign
I've been
up.
thinking about sinking all my money
Yeah.
into unregulated currency
Yeah.
that is, is used to finance a lot of dark stuff in the world. But that commercial, absolutely, sign me up.
Do
Yeah,
you have
so-
anyone in your in your writer's notepad? Do you have any other fake sponsors brewing? Any fake sponsor identities brewing for an upcoming season, or is it really just more of a kind of improv energy?
It is kind of an imperfect. It's nice to have other orange when I need it. It's nice to have a creepy little girl. Like when I need it. But then it's always like the challenge. I mean, it came down to for the season finale for episode 10, because of our recording schedule, we had to record those episodes a week apart. We usually are 2 weeks apart.
Yes.
So I had much less of a time, and I was absolutely just like had no ideas. Like I had nothing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, even other orange and creepy little girl were like, we have nothing. Like, and so I had to be like, and so then I did one about, because I waited so long. I recorded them and produced them on the day. Like I did them the day, like we
That
recorded,
morning.
I don't know what, like,
Yeah.
we recorded at like 4 o'clock or whatever too. And so
Yeah.
like at 9 a.m. I'm in there like, doing
And
the
that
audio
was
stuff, and that was
the closing with
Clouds.
Atmospheric Water Vapor Collective.
Yes. Yeah. So that
Temporal
was
Management Organization.
because the procrastinators was
Yep.
so I was like, I had put it off, and I kept waiting for
That-
inspiration. Inspiration never showed up, so perspiration had to do the job. And so
It's
created
legitimately, I think, the funniest one that you have. As somebody who's, I mean, I related to it the most. It was.
I saw when we came back, you were just like, oh,
I was dying. I was dying, and the whole conceit of it is that they've left creative notes
Yes.
in the video to
Yeah,
tell
the
the
script was
people who
not
are
finished.
making it. Yeah,
Yeah.
please finish the script here. Make sure this
Yeah.
doesn't go out until. And those notes are so real for me that I felt heard. I felt heard.
that was
So-
it. And then the literally last one I did was like, I was just literally staring at this guy going, God, what else can I do an ad for? And I was like,
How about clouds?
clouds? And then I
I'm
sat down and I wrote it. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like,
I like.
we're
I
above
just
you,
like
but
the
we're never
idea that-
looking down on you. I was like, oh, clouds, thank you.
I think there should be room for just commercials about nouns. I think we should just
I mean,
occasionally
honestly,
we're just
I
going to
have-
say
I have shown
Light.
Wall to multiple people, and they've
Yes.
been like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's in this crazy, chaotic world, I'm like, Wall? And people are like,
yeah.
oh, man, yeah, Wall.
I'm looking forward to the sequel. Wood. Anyway,
have you ever
it's
tried
all
to touch
fantastic.
grass?
Grass.
So yeah, it's part of it. It's that balancing act of like I get ideas of things I want to do that I realize, oh, that would take a human, like it's going to take an actual performance. I don't want it to
Yeah.
be, and I if ever you hear me on the ads, that means I couldn't find anyone. Like I never pick me. I would never pick myself to do the voiceover.
But
I would
you're always
rather
on
have-
the bench. You're always
But I'm always
on the
there,
bench.
and I'm
Yeah.
available, and I know what my schedule is. So
Yep.
and I can
Yep.
always do retakes. But yeah, so I have a lot. So it comes down to like, if it's something I have to turn around really quick and I don't have the time to do it, what would have that artificial, like the clouds was also one of the artificial voices. Like once again, not AI, but like
Mhm.
there's the things you can just put in that will just talk for you. And that was another one of the voices I found that I really liked. And that also could be a natural because it's a cloud. Doesn't have to
Yeah.
sound like a person.
Right.
So it's that balancing act of like trying to find something that the message would get across. Like it wouldn't, the Bridget, the goddess of mental health, wouldn't have worked if I had used a voice generator. It just wouldn't have the impact. Like I've been trying to get through to you. Like hey, you don't need to be sad about that. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. So it's always a matter of like finding the message and the medium, and then coming together at the right time. And then the last part is then the visual. So like as I do like the full audio is a 30-second audio ad or minute-long audio ad, then I go in afterwards and then try and put a video thing to it, just mainly for the entertainment of the three of you. And
Well,
then, of course, then if people watch it and like it, great. But
yeah, for sure. And
it really is just designed for an audience of people. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like I do put visual gags in there just for that. There are some.
I'll put the playlist in the notes. Definitely check it out. We've got to wrap this up. And I think if there's one message I can leave people with after today's conversation, it's pretend you've never heard it, because I think the ads will be better next season if you don't know this stuff.
That's true. I say someone asked, so wanted to answer that and be as transparent as possible. But yeah, if you want to live in the world of the other orange, you don't need to find them. No. They already know who you are and where you are, and they're following you. So
thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We've got changes afoot in the coming season, but we're very excited to get that show on the road. In the meantime, have a fantastic holiday season yourself, and we'll catch you in 2026. Final words, Kyle?
Go make weird art.